What if I told you that the average human brain loses focus every 8 seconds? 8 seconds. That is shorter than the attention span of a goldfish. And yet right now you are here watching this video, which means some part of your brain is already fighting back. But here is the scary truth. Most people will never fix their focus problem because they think it is a willpower issue. It is not. It is a brain wiring issue. And the good news is neuroscience has figured out exactly how to rewire it. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to walk away with 9 science-backed methods that will transform the way your brain works. These are not productivity hacks from a self-help book. These are techniques rooted in real neuroscience used by Navy SEALs, Olympic athletes, and top CEOs to dominate their mental performance. Let us get into it. Number 1. Train your brain with the 90-minute focus block. Here is something most people do not know. Your brain does not operate in a constant state of focus. It runs in biological cycles called ultradian rhythms. Every 90 minutes your brain naturally shifts from a high alert state to a lower energy state. This is not laziness, this is biology. Neuroscientist Andrew Huberman at Stanford has studied this extensively. When you work with these cycles instead of against them, your focus skyrockets. What this means practically is simple. Set a timer for 90 minutes. During that window, you work on one thing only. No phone, no tabs, no interruptions. When the timer goes off, you take a 15 to 20 minute real break. Not scrolling, actual rest. Do this consistently, and within 2 weeks your brain starts to strengthen the neural pathways associated with deep concentration. You are literally building a more focused brain. Number 2. Use the 5-4-3-2-1 rule to kill procrastination before it kills your focus. Procrastination is not a character flaw. It is your brain defaulting to the path of least resistance. Every time you delay starting a task, your prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for rational thinking, loses ground to the limbic system, which only wants comfort and pleasure. Mel Robbins discovered something powerful. The moment you feel resistance, count backward from 5 and then physically move. 5-4-3-2-1 go. What this does neurologically is activate the prefrontal cortex before your brain has time to talk you out of it. It is like a manual override switch for your focus. The launch decision happens before doubt creeps in. Use this every single morning and before every important work session. Over time, it becomes automatic and procrastination loses its grip on you. Number 3. Eliminate decision fatigue before it drains your focus reserve. Here is a fact that will change how you design your day. The human brain makes roughly 35,000 decisions per day. Every single one of those decisions pulls from the same cognitive fuel tank. By the time you sit down to do your most important work, your tank is already half empty. This is why Barack Obama wore the same style of clothing every day. It is why Steve Jobs did the same. They were not being weird, they were protecting their focus. Neuroscience calls this decision fatigue, and it is real. The fix is to automate as many low-value decisions as possible. Plan your meals the night before, lay out your clothes, schedule your work blocks at the same time every day. The less your brain has to decide on autopilot tasks, the more cognitive horsepower you have left for the work that actually matters. Number 4. Rewire your focus with deliberate cold exposure. This one sounds extreme, but the science is undeniable. Cold showers and brief cold exposure trigger a massive release of norepinephrine in the brain. We are talking a 200 to 300% increase. Norepinephrine is the neurotransmitter directly responsible for alertness, focus, and attention. Dr. Andrew Huberman's research shows that even a 1 to 3 minute cold shower can sharpen mental clarity for hours afterward. The cold also forces your brain into a state of intense presence because your body demands every bit of attention in that moment. You cannot think about your to-do list when you are standing in freezing water. That present state training transfers directly into your ability to stay locked in during deep work. Start with 30 seconds and build up. Your brain will thank you. Number 5. Use strategic caffeine timing to maximize cognitive performance. Most people are using caffeine completely wrong. They wake up and immediately grab coffee. But here's what the neuroscience says. In the first 90 minutes after waking, your body is naturally flushing out adenosine, which is the chemical that makes you feel tired. If you drink caffeine during this window, you block that natural process and set yourself up for an energy crash later in the day. Instead, wait 90 to 120 minutes after waking before your first cup of coffee. This aligns your caffeine intake with your brain's natural adenosine cycle and gives you a much longer and more stable period of sharp focus. Also, stop caffeine by early afternoon to protect your sleep, because nothing destroys your next day's focus like poor sleep the night before. Time your caffeine like a neuroscientist, not like someone who just wants to feel awake. Number 6. Rewire neural pathways with the single tasking commitment. Multitasking is one of the greatest lies productivity culture ever sold us. Research from the University of California, Irvine found that after an interruption, it takes an average of 23 minutes to regain full focus on a task. 23 minutes. And when you multitask, your brain is not actually doing two things at once. It is rapidly switching between tasks, each time burning mental energy and leaving behind what researchers call attention residue. This residue clogs your cognitive pipeline and makes it impossible to think deeply. The solution is radical single tasking. One task, one browser tab, one goal per session. Every time you feel the urge to switch tasks, notice it and return. That noticing and returning is literally a neural training exercise. Each time you do it, you strengthen the prefrontal circuits responsible for sustained attention. You are building a focus muscle in real time. Number 7. Leverage the power of environmental design to force focus. Your environment is silently programming your brain every single day. Neuroscience has proven that your brain scans your environment constantly and uses visual cues to decide what behavior is appropriate. This is why casinos have no clocks and why libraries make you want to study. Your workspace is doing the same thing to your brain. If your desk has your phone on it, your brain is constantly allocating background attention to it even when you are not looking at it. A study from the University of Texas found that just having your smartphone on a desk face down reduces available cognitive capacity. Remove it from the room entirely. Design a workspace that signals only one thing to your brain: deep focused work. Clutter out. Distractions out, consistent location, consistent lighting. Over time, your brain will automatically enter a focused state the moment you sit down there. Number 8. Harness neuroplasticity through meditation and breathwork. Meditation is not a spiritual practice. It is a brain training protocol. Harvard neuroscientist Sarah Lazar published research showing that people who meditate regularly have measurably thicker prefrontal cortexes. The prefrontal cortex is the command center for focus, attention, and executive function. Even 10 minutes of daily mindfulness meditation physically changes the structure of your brain within 8 weeks. But if sitting still feels impossible, start with breathwork. The 4-7-8 breathing technique, which involves inhaling for 4 counts, holding for 7, and exhaling for 8, activates the parasympathetic nervous system and shuts down the stress response that scatters your attention. Stress is one of the biggest enemies of focus because cortisol floods the brain and forces it into reactive survival mode. Breathwork is the fastest known way to override that response and bring your prefrontal cortex back online. Number 9. Use strategic rewards to hack your dopamine system for sustained focus. Here is the final piece of the puzzle, and it might be the most powerful one. Your brain runs on dopamine, but most people are addicted to instant dopamine hits from social media notifications, food, and entertainment. Every time you get a quick dopamine spike, your brain learns to prefer short bursts of stimulation over sustained effort. This is why sitting down to do focused work feels boring or even painful. You have literally trained your brain to crave distraction. The fix is to restructure your reward system. Start giving yourself genuine dopamine rewards only after completing focused work sessions. Not during, not before, after. This teaches your brain that sustained concentration leads to pleasure. Over time, your brain starts associating deep work with reward rather than pain. You can also use what neuroscientists call anticipatory dopamine by celebrating small wins during your work session. Tell yourself internally, "This is working. I am doing this." That internal acknowledgement releases dopamine and keeps your brain engaged. Here is the truth that most people will never sit with long enough to act on. Your focus is not broken. Your brain simply has not been trained. Every single one of these 9 techniques is designed to work with your biology, not against it. Your brain is neuroplastic, which means it changes and rewires itself based on what you consistently do. The people you look up to the most did not become laser-focused by accident. They trained for it. And now you have the exact playbook. Start with one technique today, just one. Implement it for 7 days straight and watch what happens to your mental output. Your brain is waiting for you to take control. The only question is whether you are ready to lead it.